Playing baseball at a high level now requires very specialized work. Let's dig into it.
You cannot feel this energy.
It seems like now everybody is bigger, faster, and stronger than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, certainly 20 years ago. And I don't have a problem with it. I think it is absolutely fantastic. And that's because the research and the information and all the training techniques and strength building techniques used before the internet were held at the highest level. It never got down to college, high school, and below. Well, now with the internet, we all have access to these training protocols and these stability models, which again is fantastic. That's why you see the velocities are going up, bat speed is increasing, exit velocity, all that stuff. It's getting down to the levels it really needs to get down to. Now, I pulled a segment of a podcast I did with Coach Bryant, who is a phenomenal athlete himself, and he is a head coach at the Tallahassee College up in Tallahassee. He, in high school, was one of these first guys that I saw to adopt the stability model and all the stability training that has to take place before you even get onto the field. And what we're going to do is I'm going to drop that segment here in just a moment, and I want you to stick around to the end because I'm going to take what he said and really expand on it and give you information that you're going to need so you can employ these same modalities, these same tactics, these same exercises, putting them into your workflow so that you can achieve at the highest level you can. Now, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so YouTube lets you know the next time we post a video. Right now, let me get you to that interview with Coach Henry. You mentioned something about work. So I'm going to tell a story here. Your high school coach, John Hollenbeck, whom everybody knows, told me a story some years ago about you being, a dual role guy, and you got a little bit of a weird back injury or rib injury or something, a tweaky little weird kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. And the story that he tells was, I get to the field and Bryant's here and he's doing these silly rubber band exercises and these yoga looking things. He goes, it looks just the silliest, kind of little, why would you do that kind of stuff? Well, it's because that's what was required, right?
Right. That's it. And I just like to say I was ahead of the game now because you get here and mobility is a huge part of the game now. And
huge.
Like I told you earlier, our training room is just littered with guys an hour before practice doing hip mobility, doing foam rolls, and it's the stuff that
so shoulder stabo, all that stuff.
To get ready to go. So long gone are the days where we just roll the balls out and start practicing. It's a I hate to say it at this level, but it's a job.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm okay with that because you're looking for the grinder, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The grinder kind of digs that.
Yep.
And you get here and guys are grinding and that ain't you. It may not be in the right place.
Yep, that's what we tell them on the first day we're here. We don't make the lineup, you guys do.
Right.
So it's guys they have abilities to evaluate too. They know.
You heard Coach Henry talk there about the program that his physical therapist gave to him to do before practice and before games. So he would get to the yard early. Coach Hollenbeck, I've known for many, many years, telling the story, and he's there before everybody else, and these funny-looking exercises. Well, this is many, many, many years ago where that didn't happen that often. Now, if you go to a good college program, a good high school program, and certainly a pro program, and you get there early, you'll see guys engaging in mobility and stability programs. Now, mobility is the ability for that ball and socket joint to freely move through a large range of motion, hips as well, and your core. Stability is you can think about that like your band work, all the band work that you're doing. And what that does is that helps stabilize the joints so we can abuse them, essentially. Because in baseball, we really abuse our joints. It's a very strange athletic game for this reason. Baseball players don't use their strength directly. You see, in basketball, you're down in the block and you're banging with the big guys in there, and the stronger guys typically going to win. Shaquille O'Neal overpowered everybody. In football, you've got man on man, and you are using your strength directly against your opponent. See, in baseball, we don't do that. We use our strength indirectly. We use our strength through the application of that strength and speed to generate force. Force to throw the ball harder and force to hit the ball longer. So again, the strength that we build needs to be applied to the creation of force. Therefore, we can't build strength very well if we're not stabilized in the shoulder complex, the hip complex, and certainly the core. Because for us, it's a lot of rotational movement, and that puts a tremendous amount of strain on those little connective tissues that support those joints. Now, as your disclaimer, make sure you check with your physician so that he can program the stability and mobility program that's right for you, because everybody is going to be slightly different. And we'll dive into this subject area much more in future broadcasts to really get to the nuts and bolts. Here's what I want you to take away. Get with your physician. Get a program that focuses stability and mobility on the shoulder complex, the hip complex, the core in between, and you also have to hit that UCL, that elbow. And most of the time, the stability will hit that, because those are the points of failure for baseball players. Let me repeat that. Those are the points of failures. See, in football, guys pull quads and hamstrings and things like that. In basketball, very similar calf injuries. But in baseball, it seems to be shoulders, hips, and elbow. Shoulders, hips, and elbow, shoulder, hips, and elbow, because that's where so much of that force that we build kinetically, moving down the arm to the bat, moving down the arm to the ball, really abuses, because really that's the most correct term, abuses that joint, those joints themselves, really puts a lot of strain and pressure on them. So what we want to do is make sure they're as mobile and stable as they possibly can so that you can build strength on top of it. A strong building has absolutely no use unless the foundation is solid. So get with your physician, get a stability program put together, go to the yard. Now, here's another little takeaway. You ready? If you do it once a week, it ain't going to work. Let me repeat that. If you don't do it every day, it won't work. Every day you get to the yard, you've got to focus on the core, focus on the hips, and focus on the shoulders, and create that stability so that you can go out and play to the highest level you can, cutting it loose, sending it high bat speed, high arm speed. If you do that, you will be a better baseball player. Use the link in the description to check out the full podcast I did with Coach Henry. And remember to leave your questions in the comment section so I can be sure to ask them on my second interview with him. One last thing. Did you know that I wrote a book? That's right. BASS. B-A-S-S. Barrel Accuracy and Swing Strength, the Path to Elite Level Hitting. And this book will teach you the two things that all successful hitters do. They hit it on the barrel and they hit it hard. I put a link in the description below that'll take you to the website where you can get a free preview to my new book and place your order. So make sure you check that out, and maybe one day you'll make one of our highlight reels. We'll see you on the field.
You cannot feel this energy.